Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cumley here. I'm bringing you the RedditHoN QQ Ninja Amateur Open League Tournament Awesome Companionship Tournament. And today we're doing the finals. It is between ELMO, Team ELMO from Clan Tickle Me ELMO, and TIRL, which is Tanks in Real Life. Some of you may have noticed we just came from a pause into a brand new game. ELMO's Torturer actually had to leave, so they are swapping out to a ringer. TIRL actually agreed to remake. You know, I feel like TIRL definitely had an advantage. There was a failed gank early from Legion team that let Flint start getting a free farm. You know, they missed out on the first pull and things like that. But for the most part, I guess they decided to be nice and go ahead and remake for them. We do see mid, Defiler had a much better block. That's going to give him an early advantage as far as creep kills. Last game we saw him spam waves really early on the waves to try and get a bottle super quick. It kind of worked out. It was a little bit slower. He didn't quite have the money after he was out of mana, which made it slow down a little bit. Thought we would go ahead and getting a nice little creep farm on here. Just for review, we do have a tri-lane top. It is Behemoth, Torturer, and Pyromancer going up against Magmus, Witch Slayer, and Flint Beastwood. We're going to be looking for Flint Beastwood to get a ton of farm in this lane. He definitely needs a lot of farm to be a powerful force in the mid game, and then of course in the late game as well if it goes that long. In mid, we do have a Thunderbringer going up against a Defiler, and bottom, we do have a solo Bubbles going up against a Soul Reaper. We did see Bubbles effectively get a kill on the Soul Reaper last game. We'll be able to see if he can duplicate those results. Again, Bubbles does have the advantage in that can be much more aggressive in his positioning. He can use his Shell Surf to kind of get behind the target and auto attack them as they run away. But, you know, Soul Reaper definitely does have a very powerful heal, especially once he gets to level 3 and level 5. It gets quite beefy. So we are seeing a little bit more action here on the top lane. Looks like they're being quite aggressive with their laning. We did see Torturer get a ton of denies last game. He had something like 1 creep kill and 15 denies. And we did see a lot of denies coming from the Bubbles as well on the Soul Reaper. I don't believe any of them changed their items too much, their starting items. We do see the same ward here by the Hellborn team. Gives them a lot of vision of things like this pull right here. They'll know that Behemoth is doing that, and they'll be able to effectively stop it if they need to. We do see ward going down by Thunderbringer. Did they forget to ward the rune? Maybe. Anyway, and we do see Defiler actually getting her bottle much earlier this game. That's really going to change the pace of the game. And we do see, again, we see Torturer coming down here to guard the ward. Guard the rune, so Thunderbringer can't pick it up, because, you know, a regen rune is a pretty big deal. But they do actually, the Hellborn team capitalizing on it a little bit more. They do get a stun on Behemoth. Will they be able to follow up with enough damage? Doesn't look like it, but now Magmus is actually in a lot of trouble. Magmus possibly going down once these stuns come back off cooldown if he doesn't manage to get out of there. He does make a break for it. Will he be able to get away? It's going to be close, especially if he goes in this pathway, but they do actually pull back. They don't want to risk running into the Witch Slayer and the Flint Beastwood and taking damage and actually getting a counter kill. So we are seeing a little bit more action here on this top lane than we did last time. That's definitely good. But Flint Beastwood, again, he's kind of a you know, farming kind of hero. He doesn't necessarily need a lot of kills early until he starts getting levels into that flare. And then he can effectively put out a lot of damage in a burst, especially on a double stun kind of deal like this we have here. We are seeing Defiler play fairly aggressive up on this Thunderbringer. She is able to. She's a little bit low, but she does still have power supplies, 3 charges, and a bottle, and a health pot, and some Rune's Blight, all that good stuff. It'll be interesting to see who manages to get the 4-minute rune. I think that'll be quite important, especially depending if something like a regeneration rune. That's going to be huge for both of these heroes that really want to spam their nukes. A regeneration rune really kind of changes the pace of the lane. And we do actually have the Bloodlust kill going on here. Legion team managing to kill Magmus. That's not too surprising. Magmus' positioning hasn't been perfect this game so far. They do manage to pick him off. They have a ton of stuns. But again, you know, the entire pace of this game is different than the last one. It's really kind of unfortunate to see a game that the Hellborn team had under such control have to get remade. And now they take the Bloodlust. Last game, there was a Bloodlust kill by the Legion team as well, but Hellborn was able to get 2 counter kills out of it, which, you know, really kind of gives that to Flint Beastwood, especially when he's the one getting the kills. He does have an early bring of the Teacher done, so he's going to be able to use his nuke quite effectively, as well as his lane mates will have quite a bit of mana. They are giving Flint Beastwood quite a lot of experience here. He's the only one that is in range. Magmus kind of poking up, saying hi, getting some of that experience. they're being quite aggressive on this tower. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them go for a tower push at some point. You do see Torturer going for Impalement over Agonizing Bonds. It's kind of hard to make the decision sometimes in games. They're both really effective skills, but Impalement does do quite a ton of damage if you manage to catch somebody without creeps or you're going on a tower or something like that. It's really effective, especially even at low levels. 1 or 2 skill points in it makes it do a ton of damage. We do see Defiler walking all the way back to base. This is really painful to see. You really want to avoid this anytime you can. They do a completed power supply again. I'm still not sure I like that decision. I don't think you need to complete it. You can use the TP even with a full inventory just by swapping it from your stash. But she is going to use that full bottle advantage to actually spam onto Thunderbringer. We have pretty basic warding by both teams. They're covering this, and they do have the creep spawn blocked. This ward is still here. It's about to fade from the Hellborn team, and then the other one they have is right here covering the room. We do see a one-on-one. Soul Reaper actually doing quite a bit of work on this Bubbles. This is the biggest change between the two games. We're seeing Soul Reaper do quite a bit better. Let's see, where's Bubbles? Bubbles. He's 15-4, which is much less than he was last game compared to the 22-10 of Soul Reaper. So absolutely turning this game around, being played much better. The player that was swapped out, I should say, is the Torturer player. I do believe the last Torturer player was actually going for Agonizing Bond, so we do see a little bit of change there as well. They brought in their ringer because their Torturer had to leave. No kills so far for the Hellborn team. They're not really in a huge rush for it. They're starting to get the levels on the stunners. I think once Flippy Squid hits level 5 and gets 3 in that flare, they're going to be able to do a lot more effective kind of kills on them. And that'll be definitely interesting to see how aggressive they choose to play once they get that. We do see a rune race right here. This is a regeneration rune. Again, this is actually pretty big deal. Defiler does manage to get it. She just goes ahead and just blows her ult. Thunderbringer is not level 6 yet. This could be a little bit of a wasted ult by Defiler. She's not going to have it up for another minute and a half after this, and it's going to do almost no damage. I don't know if it hit Thunderbringer even once. She will get to effectively clear the creep wave. I don't think she'll get really much tower damage on it. If she had waited to actually get to lane before activating it, she'd be able to put a lot more damage on this tower. Hellborn team might actually have wanted to use the glyph right there because, you know, you're not going to need it anytime super soon. So it might have been a good pickup. Now, see, Defiler is just going to be able to free spam onto this Thunderbringer. Thunderbringer probably doesn't even want to nuke her right now when she has empty mana. It's just going to let her fill it up when she uses her. Oh, we do see a really great kill here on top. Thunderbringer using his ult as well. We do see 2 kills on the Hellborn team and none on Sid Legion. Pyromancer getting away with 14 health. 14 health. So we did see some aggressive play up here top. Flint Beastwood is still only level 3, doesn't quite have enough damage output to do anything great. Flint Beastwood not dying is pretty important, but again, this tri-lane is going much differently than it did last game. But thankfully, they do have Soul Reaper farming quite effectively here in the bottom lane. He has completely bypassed his Withering Presence just to get Inhuman Nature. I approve of that. He's farming really hard. He's kind of going to do really item-dependent Soul Reaper kind of build, probably. And it just lets him, I mean, look at this. Look how effectively he gets a kill right here on Bubbles. He can just spam that stuff so effectively, get him low, get him into an uncomfortable position, and then just go for the kill. It's actually really unexpected to see that happening to the Bubbles. You know, you probably should see that that's probably going to happen and take cover at least so you can try and get away, but he just wasn't able to make it happen. We do have Thunderbringer up here on top. Unfortunately, the lane is quite pushed. I'm not sure it's going to be able to push up too quick. You're having another wave come and you have this catapult. The catapult waves are really kind of ineffective to do that on. We do see a really great stun onto Behemoth, and he just gets melted immediately. He had no chance. Oh, really bad positioning on Torturer here. Will they be able to make him pay for it? It doesn't look like it, but that was really close. That was pretty sloppy positioning. Torturer actually getting a tower. Did they even use the Glyph of Defense? And he, I mean, that's the problem where if you leave a lane to gank against the Defiler, they can just say, okay, I'm gonna just kill the tower. She doesn't even need a Ring of the Teacher to do it. She just went to town right on it. And it's really great. It's a really effective way. Same thing with Soul Stealer, like I said during the last portion of the game. If you're a Soul Stealer and they leave the lane to gank, just go fucking kill their tower. Just kill it. It's no big deal. It's day 9 in HoN, right? Just go fucking kill it. So as far as farming goes, it's not quite. The game's even up a little bit. It is 3-2 on kill score, and we do have 2 kills here on the Torturer. Yeah, and so we do see a kill here on bottom. Ooh, actually a 3-person gank able to take out that Soul Reaper. Warding probably not too effective on this. They need to really control the game. They need to prevent those deaths, especially when they want this Soul Reaper to farm. Like heavily, they need to make sure that they have her protected and that she's not going to get ganks like those. That does leave Torturer pretty vulnerable here on top. He's not going to be able to farm, and Flint Beastwood is going to definitely capitalize on that, hopefully, and hit every last that he can. And that'll be really great for the Hellborn team, but I'm not sure it's worth it, because they definitely want the Soul Reaper to farm. Thunderbreaker coming down here. Now, see, he's in a position right now where he's invisible, and so he wants to kind of scout out and find a good position, but he's not going to be able to do anything. I mean, they're going to TP in right here. Does Soul Reaper have her ultimate up? That is the question. That is the question. She does, but will she have the mana to use it? Thunderbreaker ulting as well. Oh, ooh, just barely manages to live with that ult. Bubbles getting away with 20 HP. That's a really great fight for the Hellborn team. That's really what they needed. They got the momentum back in this bottom lane. Thunderbreaker actually, I take back what I said. He was able to do it really effectively. Oh, we do actually see another kill on top here from the Hellborn team. They are definitely switching up the momentum of this game. They knew they were behind. They knew they had to take some risks. Thunderbreaker chose to move around, take that 3 versus 2, and they actually did quite effectively doing it. That's a really great play by the Hellborn team. You know, if you ever feel like you're behind, you need to do something risky. You need to try and catch up rather than just, you know, kind of sitting back and hoping that things go well for you. Flint Beastwood is actually in a dangerous position. I believe a wave will probably kill him from this Defiler. They are going on her with her ult, and she's going to take quite a bit of damage from this Magnus. She is going to try and kill him. Magnus running away. Needs to get out of there ASAP. He looks like he probably is going to die, sacrifice himself to the Defiler gods, and I don't think they'll be able to get a counter kill because Flint is so low on HP. Yes. So we are seeing Thunderbreaker push in this middle lane. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much damage to it. Thunderbreaker is not the most effective tower pusher in the game by any means. We do have 5 Legion top. They are all here. Defiler does not have her ult up. Obviously just used it for the last team fight, but we do have Impalement, and you can see the tower just melt. Pyromancer doesn't even have his magic fire glow stick death skill yet. But you can see the tower is still just absolutely melting from that Impalement. Really heavy push team here from the Legion team. I wouldn't be surprised to see another tower go down in the next minute when Defiler's ult comes back up. It'll definitely be interesting. That's a really great way for them to get momentum back, is tower pushes. Towers are worth quite a lot of gold if you multiply it by your whole team. It really, really is good. And when you reduce their vision and their ability to TP places, Magnus really bad positioning again. Last game he had very questionable positioning. We're seeing a repeat again. But we do see Soul Reaper going right on this Defiler. She's going to be able to get a kill. A lot of damage coming out on Soul Reaper. Will they be able to get her Torture? It looks like he's going to go down as well. And Thunderbreaker ult. Wow, what an amazing fight for the Hellborn team. You saw like their cooldowns come out, really great timing. They managed to get 3 kills out of that. That's actually fantastic for them. Stopping the push completely. Behemoth does manage to get an invis rune, so he's going to get out of there fine. You see quite a lot of wards on Behemoth. Hopefully he'll be able to effectively counter ward with that counter ward that he has. So again, really great fight for the Hellborn team. We see Flint Beastwood's getting his farm on. He does have quite effective. He's a 42 and 12 creep score with 59 and 17 creep score on Soul Reaper. Both of them are farming quite effectively. Soul Reaper at about 350 gold per minute, where Flint is at about 260. We do see the Defiler does have 330 gold per minute on the Hellborn, on the Legion team, as well as Bubbles and Pyromancer at around 250 each, which is, you know, fairly respectable for early in the game. But they did have those tower kills, and without those, you might see their gold per minute drop just a little bit. You see they have a 22 gold advantage at the moment from those tower kills specifically. So again, you know, as we see the ultimates become more and more powerful, once we see Wishslayer and Magnus, especially if Magnus is able to hit an effective ult before he gets his portal key, that's actually quite huge in those team fights. They'll be able to turn it around very well. Legion team went into that with most of their ults like already on their heroes, right? They already had the Pyromancer ult, they already have the Bubbles ult, and they just got absolutely melted down. Really effective focusing on Defiler there, made him kind of eat a lot of skills. Defiler does use her ultimate right here, kind of a defensive ult to try and stop them from going on her, but they're just going to go ahead and go anyway. Flint does miss his flare. I think Defiler might actually die there if he hits it. This is kind of risky. They're going into quite a lot of damage. Defiler does a lot of damage with her ult, but they do manage to get a pick off, and they are going to try to get away right here. Hopefully they won't get many counter kills on the Legion team. Ooh, questionable positioning right here by the Soul Reaper, running into everybody. Magnus is going to go down as well. Thunderbreaker does manage to pick off Behemoth with quite a lot of burst. And Flint Beastwood is, you know, staying in the back, picking off people. He's he's got 1-0-6. That's exactly what he needs to do. Just kind of take these free kills and these free pickoffs that the Legion team wants to give him. We do see Witchslayer does not have their ult yet. I think it's going to be a much more effective fight for them to come down. If they did, they'd be able to pick somebody up quite quickly. Thunderbringer solo running for this haste. This could be quite dangerous. Switcher does miss the stun. That would have been pretty dangerous for him. He might actually need to use the haste. No, he is able to get out of there fine. He's going for an early spell shards.